Society doesn't want you to be lonely, but it is absolutely terrified of you being alone. There is a massive difference. Loneliness is a weakness. It makes you desperate. It makes you a consumer. It makes you beg for connection. But solitude is power. And in a world built on your dependence, your independence is the ultimate threat. Think about it. Your entire modern life is engineered to keep you from ever being alone with your own thoughts. You wake up, reach for the phone. You drive, put on a podcast. You eat, watch a video. You wait in line, scroll the feed. We are terrified of the silence. We treat silence like an illness. Why? Because we know, deep down, that if we stop the noise, we will have to face the stranger living in our own bodies. We will have to face the anxiety, the burnout, the feeling that we are living a life that isn't ours. So we buy the noise. We pay for the distraction. We become, as the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said, manufactured goods, terrified of our own company. But there were rebels, ancient mystics in China who saw this trap thousands of years ago. They were the Taoists. They didn't run to the mountains just to look at trees. They went to the mountains to deprogram their minds from the society of their time. They discovered that solitude is not a punishment. It is a weapon. Today we are going to look at why the Taoist Recluse is the most dangerous person to the status quo and how you can use their secrets to reclaim your mind without ever leaving your city. To understand why solitude is dangerous, you have to understand what society wants from you. Society runs on a very specific fuel: your insecurity. If you are content, you don't buy things. If you are at peace, you don't vote out of fear. If you validate yourself, you don't spend 8 hours a day on social media begging for likes. The entire system is designed to make you look outside yourself for your worth. It tells you you are not enough, but if you buy this, achieve this, or date this person, then you will be enough. This is the Confucian model of the ancient world. Perform your role, get your gold star, fit in. The Taoist sage Zhuangzi looked at this system and laughed. There's a famous story. The king sent 2 high officials to find Zhuangzi. They found him fishing by a river. They told him, "The king wants to make you the prime minister. You will have wealth, power, and status." Zhuangzi didn't even turn his head. He kept fishing. He said, "I have heard there is a sacred tortoiseshell in the capital, dead for 3,000 years, wrapped in silk and worshipped in a temple. Tell me, would that tortoise rather be dead and worshipped, or alive, dragging its tail through the mud?" The officials said, "Alive, dragging its tail in the mud." Zhuangzi said, "Go away. I will drag my tail in the mud." This is the danger. Zhuangzi couldn't be bought. He couldn't be bribed with status. He preferred his own company and his freedom over the highest validation society could offer. When you learn to be happy alone, you become unbribable. You become main character energy in a world of NPCs. You stop playing their game, which means they can no longer control you. So how do we achieve this? It requires a shift in identity. In the West, we build an ego. We curate a personal brand. We are constantly performing. We walk into a room and think, how do I look? Do they like me? Am I successful? This is exhausting. This is the root of burnout. You are an actor who never gets to leave the stage. The Taoists have a solution. They call it Pu, the uncarved block. Imagine a block of wood. It has no shape. It isn't a table, it isn't a statue, it is just wood. It is full of potential, but it has no identity. It is simple. It is honest. When you are alone, truly alone, who are you? You aren't a CEO. You aren't a husband or wife. You aren't cool or awkward. You just are. Solitude is the only place where you can put down the heavy block of your personality. Society hates the uncarved block. It wants to carve you. It wants to carve you into a taxpayer, a consumer, a loyalist. But when you retreat into solitude, you return to poo. You stop performing. You realize that you don't need the applause to exist. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal famously said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Why? Because when you can't sit alone, you go out and create trouble. You start wars, you start drama, you buy things you don't need, all to escape the silence. The Taoist sits in the room. They return to the block. And in doing so, they become immune to the chaos. There is a practical power to this. It's not just about feeling good. It's about moving through the world with zero friction. Zhuangzi gave us the metaphor of the empty boat. He said, if a man is crossing a river and an empty boat smashes into his skiff, he won't get angry. He won't scream at the boat. It's empty. But if he sees a person in that boat, he will shout, he will curse, he will get enraged. Why? Because there is an ego in the other boat. The Taoist practice of solitude allows you to become the empty boat. When you spend time alone, you detach from your own self-importance. You realize you're not the center of the universe. You empty yourself of your ego, your need to be right, your need to be respected. And when you go back into society as an empty boat, no one can fight you. If someone insults you, they are shouting at an empty boat. If someone tries to compete with you, they are racing an empty boat. You become untouchable. Not because you are arrogant, but because you are not there to be hit. You are flowing like water, while everyone else is crashing like rocks. This is the ultimate mind hack. The person who needs nothing from the group is the one the group is most drawn to. Paradoxically, by embracing solitude, you become more charismatic. You become a magnet because you are the only person in the room not begging for attention. You don't need to move to a cave to do this. In fact, the ancient masters said great hermits live in the city. Here is how you practice dangerous solitude right now. 1. The digital fast. You must cut the umbilical cord. For 1 hour a day or 1 day a week, turn it off. No input, no music, no podcasts. Society will scream at you. You're missing out. You're irrelevant. Let it scream. Sit in the silence until the boredom turns into peace. 2. Date yourself. Take yourself to dinner. Go to the movies alone. Walk in the park alone. Watch the panic rise. People will think I'm a loser. I look lonely. That panic is your programming. Stare it down. Do it until you realize that your own company is high-quality company. 3. Observe, don't absorb. When you are in a crowd, become a ghost. Stop trying to project your personality. Just watch. Watch how people seek validation. Watch the game. When you stop playing the game, you can finally see the board. Solitude is dangerous to society because it breaks the chain of command. They can control a person who needs things. They can control a person who needs status. But they cannot control a person who needs only themselves. The Taoist doesn't reject the world. They just refuse to be enslaved by it. Your bad feelings, your loneliness, your boredom, your anxiety, are not enemies. They are simply the withdrawal symptoms of a mind addicted to noise. Go through the withdrawal. Cross the desert of loneliness. On the other side, you won't find isolation. You will find yourself. And once you find that, you will never be lonely again. Go dangerous, go alone.